Hello student, we are continuing with the definition of the class. So how do you define the class? Definition of class. Now what's the syntax for that? You have to, as we said earlier, you have to use the keyword class and give the class name followed by the access control specifier 1, data member, member functions, access control specifier, data member, member functions, and so on, and close and give a semicolon, where class is a keyword. Class is the keyword used to define the class, and class name is your valid identifier. Is your identifier for the class. A class definition contains data members. This contains, as we said earlier. Now see, this is your keyword and this is your identifier, and a class definition contains your data members and member functions. The data members and member functions can be declared under the particular access controller specified depending upon the scope of its use, that is the access control specifiers. Now generally there are three types of specifiers which will be coming across later. We want to give an example for this definition of the syntax. Example for the definition, as we said, the keyword class. The class name we are going to give it as student, and then access specifiers, it is your private, integer, register number, integer, total, marks, and then access specifier. The next access specifier, void get data, void put data, close. So data members are the variables which hold the data. So these are your data members for you that hold the data. Depending on the access control specifiers, different functions can use them. So in this program, int register number and int total marks are your data members. Next, member functions. In OOPS, functions, as we said earlier, functions are called as methods. The methods are called to perform a particular task, such as to get the input or display or calculations or display the output. These methods are used, they use the data members that is provided for processing. So this get data and put data are member functions. They are known as your member functions. This is an example for the definition of your class. Now next, coming to your access control specifiers. In the above example, we mentioned private and public, right? We'll just explain about this. Access control specifiers. Now, the access specifiers are the facilities used to provide the data protection. These are the facilities used to provide the data protection by hiding the data and functions. Hiding the data and functions. It also decides whether the data members are made available to all the functions or only to some functions. So there are three types of access specifiers. There are three types of access specifiers, that is your private, public and protected. Private, public and protected. Now let us go one by one. Private. What do you mean by your private access control specifier? The data members mentioned in this, the data members that come under this access specifier can be accessed only by the, they can be accessed only by the member functions of the class. Member functions of the class. They cannot be used, private members cannot be used from outside the class. By default, class members are private. That means if the access specifier is not mentioned, then that is considered as private members only. Now for example, we take the previous example, class student, right? So you say private integer register number, integer total marks, right? So this is declared as private, that can be accessed only by the member functions of the class student, that is void get data and put data. This is about your private access specifier. The next is your public access specifier. The data members mentioned under this access specifier, they can be, the data members if mentioned under public can be accessed by any function. It can be accessed by any function. That is, the public member functions can be accessed from outside the class also. It can be accessed from outside the class also. That is, if you want to do that, then how are you going to declare it? You are going to declare it as class student public integer register number and int total marks. If you declare it in this way, then you call it as your public. That is, again you have the other function also, that is your member function, void get data and void put data close. So this is your data members and this is your data functions. This is about your public. Next, let us go for your protected. Now in protected, the data members under this, access specifier can be accessed by the member functions of the class and friend functions and also from members of the derived class, also from members of derived class. That is your protected. Now if you want to declare this under protected, example, class student protected. Again the same, the rest of it remains the same. That is your integer, register number, integer, total marks, void get data, void put data close. Okay, so this is what you mean by your access specifiers, that is private, public and protected, and how it works. Okay, let's continue in the next session.